The purpose of this video is to help parents understand the value in talking about maths with children, especially in talking about children's misunderstandings and the wrong answers they get, rather than just going straight to the right answer. This problem is called a concept cartoon. We design it so that we can see what misunderstandings or misconceptions children have about maths. This problem is all about fractions. It says the Pokemon have to share 16 chocolates. It asks which Pokemon is right with their statement and how do you know they're right? Let's start with Pikachu. Pikachu's saying, I got 3 chocolates, so I got 1/3. The misconception here is that 1/3 means 3. If your child has this misconception, their next step is to make halves, thirds, and quarters out of lots of different objects and groups. To make these fractions at home, you could cut fruit into halves and quarters. You could get a pile of toys and divide them into halves, thirds, or quarters. You could get some pegs and divide those up into groups. Or you could even get some leaves and divide those up into halves, thirds, and quarters. The next answer we'll look at is from Charmander. He's got 1/4, which he thinks is bigger than 1/2, so he has the most. His misconception is that he knows 4 is bigger than 2, so he sees the 4 1/4 and thinks it must be bigger than the 2 1/2. The next step for students with this misconception is to learn that the bottom number in a fraction tells us how many parts of the whole we can make. So they need to make a lot of quarters and halves and then compare them to see which ones are the biggest. This way, children will learn that quarters means to split something into 4 groups and halves means to split it into 2 groups. At this stage, you could get some equipment and start splitting it into halves and quarters and let the children see how much is in each. So if we take 8 Mars bars and split them in half, we can see there are 4 Mars bars in each half. If we then take the 8 Mars bars again and split them into quarters, we see we make 4 groups and there are 2 Mars bars in each quarter. We can do the same thing with some pizza. If we get 2 pizzas and cut one in half and another one in quarters, we can see that one has 2 bits and the other has 4 bits. The last answer for us to look at is from Squirtle. Squirtle says he got half, so he got the most. As it happens, this is the right answer. If your child chose this answer, it might be worth asking how do they know? This way you can be sure that they have a strong understanding of halves, thirds, and quarters.